Hi, God bless you and welcome back to Fight for Your Family. Last week, Rob and I talked about setting boundaries in our relationships, and we want to continue on that topic this week. You know, setting healthy boundaries and clear boundaries are so important to having good relationships with one another. And what are boundaries? Boundaries really are setting the guidelines for people so that they know how we want or expect to be treated. And it's so important that we communicate these boundaries to others. Often we may get frustrated or annoyed with people because they're infringing on our boundaries, but yet we've never communicated our boundaries to them. So communicating our boundaries is the first step that we need to take.
Amen. I like to look at it in setting boundaries as instruction versus correction. You know, I like to really kind of let somebody know beforehand what my expectation is if in setting a boundary. It's kind of giving an example. If somebody's going to call me about something that has to do with work, after work hours, I'll usually let them know the times that I'm available. It's best to give me a call between, say, 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock. This way it doesn't infringe on family time, or a little bit later or early, depending. I think that that's much better than somebody calling you during a time when you didn't expect them to call and then having to tell them not to call or call you during that time. I think you avoid hurt feelings that way by letting people know your expectations ahead of time.
Yes, and I think it's important to remember, too, that we have the right to set these boundaries in our lives. You know, you may find as you begin to set boundaries that people may begin to think it's odd or even get offended, but we don't have to feel guilty when we're setting boundaries or be made to feel like we're doing something wrong. You know, that may happen at first, but as we continue to set clear boundaries and we continue to enforce those boundaries, we'll find that we'll have stronger and healthier relationships.
Yeah, I find that sometimes people that I talk to that have a hard time setting boundaries, they usually minimize their own feelings. They say, well, I'm making a big deal out of something and I really shouldn't be so rigid or so difficult. And that's not really what a boundary is. It's not being rigid or difficult. It's just letting a person. Now, are there exceptions to the rule? Absolutely. Obviously, there are going to be exceptions to the rule. There will be emergencies. But at least we're setting a general path. It's like kind of like in the road when you're traveling. Sometimes you cross over the lines, but that as you're changing into another lane, but they're there to guide you.
Amen. Well, we hope that you are blessed today as we've continued to talk about setting healthy boundaries in our relationships. And we also hope that you would join us next time as we continue to fight for our family. God bless you.
God bless you.